Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Elizabeth, the maker behind Angel's Cottage, and I think this is the fifth podcast. I can't remember. It's okay. I'll put it up here. But this is a podcast about my making journey, and it includes a lot of things like knit, crochet, pipe cleaner stuff. I don't even know, like just whatever I feel like making. So you can find me on Instagram at Angel's Cottage. You can find me on Ravelry as Arcania, and you can find me on Etsy as Angel's Cottage Shop. So let's go ahead, pull out my notes here. It's been a minute. It's been more than a minute, actually. It's been quite some time, but um, we're gonna go ahead and get started with works in progress or WIPs, and you might remember this one. But this is my scrappy catnap blanket. Oop, hold on. Don't want to lose this. Oh, okay. Just get the yarn out. Okay. Okay. This is the scrappy catnap blanket, and basically, I don't know if I'll be able to really show you all of it, but these are different scraps of Brene blanket yarn that I have left over from making different baby blankets, or like this one right here was gifted to me by somebody, and this one was the blanket I made for my dad, and like this one was a blanket I made for myself. So just leftover scraps, and it's taking up more space than I wanted it to. Obviously, like it's a remnant. So and then like this one's pretty big. It's a pretty big one. Um, and some of them are like this big, so not crazy. But I just wanted to use it, and I thought that my kids would like a blanket made out of this because it's really soft, and they have car blankets I've made for them in the past, but I don't know. I just wanted to make it, and it was a good way to use up the scraps, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I think it's coming out pretty good. So that is that. Hold on, let me put it away. Okay, my next whip is a musselburgh hat, and this is kind of funny, you'll see, but it's very tiny, very tiny. Let me put this down and get the yarn out. Um, it's literally this big, super duper small. I just started it this morning to pass the time because there was another project I was gonna start, but I didn't feel like starting it just yet because I was like cuddling with my youngest and my cat was on me and I would have had to get up and get needles and I had this next to me, so just kept on. And this is in Fantasy Fiber Yarn Company. This is on her yak base, which, oh, I don't think I have let's see if I can pop the tag out here. This is on St. Marcus's Day, which is part of her Twilight collection. And it is 3-ply, 65% superwash merino, 25% silk, and 15% yak. And it's gorgeous. I love it. I actually I bought this other skin a while back ago. It's a nice dark blue. It's the same base, the Morley Gray stock weight. So it's the 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, and then 15% yak, I think I said. But this one is called Ritual Waters, and this one is from her Coven Club that she did last year. And I initially bought it because it was such a dark blue that it looks black, but it's not. And what's odd is since I've caked it up, it kind of It's like a murky greenish almost. It's really unique. I think that's because of the silk and the yak that's blended in there. That's what I was explaining to my husband. But this musselburgh is for him. I initially bought this to make one for him, but I was making myself a two-tone one, so we'll get to that in a second. And he wanted a two-tone one, and she just happened to have an extra by She and Marissa of Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. She happened to have an extra sale. Not really a sale, but she listed them, and she had this one, and I thought they would look really good together. And he likes a nice dark red like that, so that way it'll be his choice to wear it one way or the other, blue out or red out. Um, but yeah. And I've got this in a bag by Beautiful Sisters. This is their Heather bag. And I love it because like you can just tuck these in and the project is pretty secure. Or sometimes like I'll fold the arm part down like this and then tie it. And it reminds me of like a little bento box. But also you can take it, put this down, and then you can work on your project and it acts as a yarn bowl at the same time. Because then you can just grab your stuff. So anyway, love these Heather bag, Beautiful Sisters. They have a Etsy, I believe, so I'll link that below. But that's it for whips. So now, finished objects. So it's a lot, but I haven't recorded a podcast since early November because I didn't do one because of Vlogmas, and then I was sick all of January and didn't have a voice, and I'm just getting it back. So I was like, I gotta record before it goes away again. And it's like, well, I think today's February 16th, I think. So, okay, here we are. I'm gonna start with this one. This is a baby blanket, and you can see I haven't woven the end. So that's the only thing left for me to do. But this is a baby blanket made out of that blanket yarn for my friend who had a baby, I think it was last year or maybe the year before. I think it was last year though. So I'm gonna weave in that end and then nail this off. But really beautiful, super soft, love it. It's that Bernay blanket yarn. And it's not really a pattern. It's just I chain a certain amount. I think it's like 61 or 2, and then just single crochet back and forth until I want to do the border, and then I just single crochet around that. Pretty simple. Okay, next is my interlacing key shawl. Now, if you remember, like podcast or two ago, I was talking about the palette and the girl in the D-stash that helped me get the right color to finish off my palette. So now, da-da-da! Obviously, oops, still have an end to weaving here, but we don't have to talk about that. But she's huge, and I love her. I think it's so pretty with the different colors. It came out, I think, a little bit lighter than I was expecting, but all in all, I like it. And this is, oh, here actually, we'll come down here because I think it'll be easier for me to hold it up. So this is the Interlacking Key Shawl by Tony Lipsy. It's Tunisian crochet, and this colorway is Woolberry Fiber Co. 3 Little Words, and then this is all of the rest are Sorella. This is Breckenridge, Espresso, Birch, Matterhorn, and then Apple Sea is the dark one. And almost all of those are their winter tonals. I think Espresso was their former winter tonals, and they don't carry that anymore. But I happen to have some, so I used it. And I love it. It's great. Nice and warm. It's DK weight. super soft. I'll have a link in the description box too. I'm sorry, there's like fluff floating around tickling my face. Um, I'll have a link in the description box to my Ravelry project page. I think all of them will be, yeah, they'll all be linked in the description box. But next up are socks. Okay, so I'm only gonna have a pair. I mean, not a pair, one sock each because I don't have enough blockers for all of these, but that's okay. And um, I did most of these in January when I was pretty sick because I had the time, but also when I kind of lost my crafting mojo towards the end of December. I wasn't really working on much. I was just kind of, I don't know, like after the holidays were over, just getting through it. And then by the second, maybe the midweek of the first week of January, I found this drive to finish all these sock whips that I felt like I had. And I still have, I think it's at least three that I need to like either cast on the second sock or finish the second sock. Um, but I'm kind of stuck in um, a different project with that. We'll get to that. So basically, the first one, if you remember this from, oh my God, was it like the second pod? I can't remember. But this is the Stockbroker Light pattern by Alicia May Higgins. I'll put it all up here. And then this is the old version of Sorella's Peter Pan Flight. Really pretty, nice and textured. Um, just something a little different for my husband because he always gets vanilla socks. I thought I would try something a little more patterned. And hopefully the texture is coming across on the camera. So that's pair one. Pair two is a vanilla sock for my husband, and this is the Coastal Sock Set by Yarn Addict Co., who has now changed her name to Little Fiber Co. And oh, this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon 2-ply, and this is the same. But this is her Coastal Sock Set she did in collaboration with Shop La Mercerie. Does a year of socks, and every month they'll feature a dyer and a sock set, and this was one of those. And then this one is Cozy Cauldron Fiber Co. or Borealis, and this is just a vanilla sock. Again, for my husband. And then this is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And I think it came out really pretty. It's so soft. And then this one is a gift knit for my cousin. And this is, oh my gosh, I'm going to put it up here because I am drawing a blank, but it was their Pie Day sock set that a lot of dyers did a Pie Day collaboration last year. And this was like blueberry pie and chocolate crust or something like that. But it's a lovely purple, and my cousin loves purple, so it seemed fitting. Okay, that's all the socks. I say all like it's a lot, but honestly, I did all of these in January. I mean, most of them were second socks, I think. Some of them were like, I think this was a second sock for sure. This one and this one were completely new cast-ons. This one was a second sock. So, I don't know. It seemed like a lot for me. Four pairs of socks done in a month, but they're not start to finish, so I don't want to make it seem like I made more than I did. But I was impressed with myself for completing four socks in 1 month that were just kind of hanging around. So next is this lovely stack of musselburgh. So a little bit of backstory here. I've had the musselburgh hat on my queue to make for like, and for one reason or another, I just never ended up doing it. But January 20th, I believe, um, Starlight Knitting Society was hosting Pacific Knit Co., Yarnosaurus, and Fangirl Fibers. And I'm not that far from Starlight Knitting Society. It's in Portland, Oregon. So I made a trip. And what's funny is there was an ice storm the week before, and over by me it was mostly melted. You'd see like piles of snow in a parking lot, just kind of, because once they plow the parking lot, the snow just sits there, and then typically it ends up in a shady spot somehow, and so the ice will stay for a while. But we went to Portland, and it was still snow all over and ice on the streets, and I took my kids because I that's what I do. And we were trying to walk to the front of the store. I was like holding one of my oldest for dear life, and I felt so bad. My shoes had sneakers, and they were just no traction whatsoever because I need new shoes, but regardless. Um, and he had his cowboy boots on that his grandpa gave him, and it was too funny, too funny. Um, but Fangirl Fibers made a colorway for this pop-up shop trunk show. I think it's a trunk show. Anyway, and it was called Into Starlight. And this is it right here. This is the first musselburgh that started the dominoes of musselburghs. But basically, I was talking to Emily of Fangirl Fibers, and I was talking to Maggie of Yarnosaurus, and I saw Jamie of Pacific Knit Co. for like a second before she had to go teach a doodle class. And I was talking to them, just kind of hanging out, haven't seen them since vlog, and they remembered me, and I was so shocked, but it probably helped that I had my son with me, aka Minecraft Kid. So funny. Um, but uh, we were, I was chatting with Emily while I was in line getting ready to check out, and she was working on something. I said, "What are you working on?" She said, "A musselburgh." And we were chatting about it, and I said, honestly, I've had that on my to make for so long, and I just don't know why I've never done it. And so, feeling utterly inspired, and my cup overflowed with joy. My youngest had picked up this skein of yarn, and honestly, I saw the swatch, and it was so bright and colorful. Like this is actually, I think, the more toned down side right here. You can tell when I flip the brim up, or I'll pull up even more of it. You can kind of tell that, like, the initial part of the scheme that I started with was really bright, really colorful, and then over here, it's a little bit more faded, and I kind of like it. It's probably like the brightest thing I've ever made myself. Yeah, I think so. I had to think about it. I think all my socks are typically more neutral or muted. They're not so bright. But I don't know. I couldn't put this down. I made this in a week, which I thought for someone who's never made anything like that, I was impressed with myself because I thought for sure it would take me much longer, but I'm pretty sure I monotasked this. I only worked on this. I didn't really work on anything else because at that point I was working on my interlock and key shawl. I'd gotten to a certain point where I just kind of wanted to slow down on that. Just literally like I had four colors left, and for some reason I just stopped for a minute. But that's this one, and that's the somewhat story behind the musselburgh hole that I fell into. The next one is a musselburgh, and it is a gift knit for my cousin. And this is a Sorella Oopsie, I believe, of her 1989 colorway from her Taylor Swift collection. And this is in, uh, oh, this is on Bamboo Fibers cashmere base. And I don't have the little tag in front of me, but I think it's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. I think. Super soft. This one is 80% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 5% gold stellina. I don't know if the stellina is coming across on camera, but it's really pretty in person. So this is a gift knit for her as well. And then I went ahead, while I was waiting for the red yarn to show up, and honestly, a pair of needles to clear, because I only have, I think, two needles for, like, that are musselburgh hat size or whatever. But, anyway, I made this one for my husband, and this is 100% superwash merino, and it's Red Door Fibers Yip Yip colorway from her, uh, Avatar: The Last Airbender collection. And my husband likes pink, and so this seemed really perfect for him. He does not wear it folded, like with a brim, like the other one. So that's why it seems a little longer, is because it's unfolded. Um, and then the last one I made for me, I haven't even blocked it yet. I just finished this last night. But I'm going to pull it out and show you because I was trying to do something here and I don't think it worked. I've seen other people with musselburgh hats, and I've looked on the project page of, like, if you go into the pattern, you can look at all the people who've done projects and posted. And I looked and looked and looked and looked, and maybe I didn't look deep enough, hard enough, far enough, but I was trying to make a hat that was one color, and then when you folded the brim up like this, it was the color of, um, another skein. And then when you flipped it the other way, it would be the opposite. So, for example, this is the muscle run for myself, and this is Fantasy Fibers Yarn Co. when she was Rocky Mountain Fiber Co. And this is, um, she calls them outliers, this greenish, bluish color. But I think it's supposed to be Obliviate that didn't take the dye the way it was supposed to or something. And then this is Glacier. And I love this color, and I love this color. I think it looks really good together. But the problem is, um, I think it was Natty Natty who said that when you want it to be this way, you had to do it. And what I thought was like this, where it was this way. But what's going to happen is when you fold it up, let me see if I can do it. When you fold it up, you can see here that it's got like the gray on the outside and green, but then when you fold it, what's going to happen is it's going to, maybe you can see a little bit of the greenish kind of peeking out right there and there, but it ends up being gray. Not quite what I want. And it's the same on the other side. I don't know. It's cute. I still love it because I just really like the colors, but it wasn't quite what I was going for, so I'm probably going to try again with a different pair of skeins, and that is her Enemies to Lovers Sock Base, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. Um, yeah, so that's all my FOs. Seemed like a lot for me, but now we'll go into acquisitions. So, of course, you guys know I get Yarnable, so we'll start with that. And this was the February colorway. So here's the extras. I do think I'm missing something. Oh yeah, okay, the tea. I think I already had the. Oh no, it's the lotion bar. Okay. Um, there was a lotion bar included in this, and I just have it somewhere else right now. Totally spaced it. But this is the. It's a little mini pouch, and it says "Do more of what makes you happy." And that is definitely a theme for me this year. I'm trying really hard to find joy in all the little moments. Um, you know, and not miss them and just let them pass me by. But then there's a little tea pop, and it's like a tea on a stick, and you put it in hot water and then swirl it around or whatever and let it sit, and it becomes tea. And then the yarn, this is the main skein, and it's called Love is Love. And this is on her plush sock base, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And because I do the deluxe or whatever, I get a 50-gram skein. And this is Kindred Spirit, same base, 50 grams. They go together very nicely. Then the other mystery yarn that I get is the Fangirl Fibers Disney Attraction Club, and this is People Mover on her 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon base. And she gives you a little card that has some backstory on the People Mover, and I always love that. I think it's great. Then my other club that I do is called the Daddy's Club this year. I think 2021 to 2022 Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. did um, Cocktail Club, and I was a little late to that. But then last year she did Cotton Club, and I was with that, and now she's doing Daddy's. So this one is Daddy Lorian, and this is the way. And it's pretty, and if you can see the little stitch marker here, very cute. I am a purple girly all the way, and like so dark and beautiful. And then she did her Twilight Extras, like I told you about earlier, so you've already seen one color. But then I got these three. So this is the Volturi Do Not Give Second Chances on her 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon base. And the stitch markers are cute. And then I got the same colorway but on a different base. This is Bound by Magic, and this is 80% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 5% gold selena. And I don't know if the selena is coming across there, but it's beautiful. And then this one is same base. It's called Finally. and it's this dark, purpley red, really dark, and it's got that gold stellina in it. I hope it's coming across. And then I don't remember if it was January or December, but Fangirl Fibers did I think it was December, doodle collaboration with um, Pacific Knit, and they came up with two little charts. One is a Mickey head chart, and the other one is a castle chart. And she also put out two doodle kits that if you wanted to make those two charts or what have you on a doodle of any kind. Um, this one is Mickey and Pals. I don't know if I can hold up. We'll do three at a time. I can't hold up six. And the other three in that set. I don't know if this is working, but there you go. The six colors for the Mickey set. That's on a DK base. It's 100% superwash merino, but they're 50 grams each, so there's not like a ton of waste or what have you. And then the other one is called The Happiest Place on Earth. And since I've got six, I'm holding three and three, we'll just do the same. I love it, and I have a couple of ideas for um, making my own charts. I had had this in my mind for a while, but I hadn't done it. And then they, when you bought these two kits, they gave you um, charts. I don't want to show it too quickly. I mean, I don't want to show it too slowly. I'll show you really quickly, sorry, because it is somebody's um, art, and yeah, I paid for it, but I just wanted you to see it really quick. It's really cute, and I had already had something like that in mind, but with this, it kind of really helps me figure out like what I want to do, and that's probably like way off, but anyway. The other thing I got is in this bag because I've literally had it sitting up here since the Starlight Knitting Society pop-up show. So let me get these out really quick. Okay. So, Pacific Knit Co. did a Portland Doodle, and I think it's for the Rose City yarn crawl that's happening. I think it's next month, actually. It's typically in February, but they moved it, and I'm hoping to go this year, but we'll see. So this is the doodle deck that corresponds with the pattern, but if you prefer this, I mean, you've seen these on my channel before. I have a few. And then this is Fangirl Fibers. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm embarrassed that I'm gonna butcher it because I'm a fan of this colorway. Yeah, it's from Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. This was one of the colorways that Fangirl Fibers did. And this is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, DK weight. And I chose this to be my neutral. When I had gotten there, I think it started at 10. I got there at noon. When I had gotten there, they had sold out of the pre-made kits, like the ones I just showed you. But they had the doodle bar, if you remember the doodle bar from Block. So I asked Maggie, because she's the one who put, oh god, okay, wait. Don't know if this is going to work at all. Let's see. I asked her to put me together the uh, colors and minis if she had them of the doodles because I wanted to make a doodle. I don't think I can do this. Okay, so here's the green. Don't know the individual colorway names. And then here are the like reds. And you might be going, what the heck is this random pink in here? I'm pretty sure she had sold out of these. So she told me to pick another one that I liked. And I liked this one. They're not really similar at all. But you need, I think it's 300 grams to make an infinity cowl. And so obviously, like, this is 100. And then this is another 100, so that's 2. And then this is another 100, so that's 3. Um, but haven't obviously cast that on yet. These just been sitting up here. I've just been working on other stuff. I have another doodle on needles right now. I didn't feel like bringing it up because I've done no progress whatsoever on it. I've cast it on, and I think honestly I'm going to take it out and start over because my tension is wonky on the first actual color work row. I'm not really experienced in color work, which you might be thinking, you have all these color work kits and you're not experienced in color work. I had some experience, but not a lot. And the doodles are supposed to be a good way to like hone that skill. And so, and honestly, they're gorgeous. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They look great. So, yeah, we'll see. It might be on the next pod if I do rip it and I'll actually work on it. But yeah, that's it for acquisitions. So, reading, listening, watching, because it's been so long, um, we're caught up on Yellowstone. Me and my husband watched that in November. I think we finished it up in November. And then we're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He still hasn't finished it, but that's because we keep show hopping. And then we started and finished Blue Eye Samurai pretty quickly, and that was really, really good. Um, I don't know. A lot of people are like, I don't like anime. It is an anime. It's a little bit of a different art style anime, and it's definitely a different storytelling of an anime, if that makes any sense. Because obviously, like anime characters are cute and um, energetic, for lack of a better word, and just kind of extra. And there are tiny moments of that throughout this series, but it hits more on the feeling side. It's more hard hitting for the story, and it's really good. Highly recommend. Um, and then we've been watching Whose Line Is It Anyway too, the newer version, because they have like an old one from the 90s, I think, and then they have one from the 2010s, I think it is. So we've been watching that, and we always bust a gut when we watch that. It's so funny. I finished listening to The Witcher, The Last Wish, The Last Wish. Oh my God, I did it again. The Witcher, The Last Wish on Spotify, and I started the Sword of Destiny, but I'm not done with that one yet. And most recently, I started listening to The Spare by Prince Harry, and I'm not done with that either. I'm pretty far into that, but yeah, that's I honestly I started that and I couldn't stop. I wanted to hear it all. I don't know. I recently personally just finished watching The Crown. Um, like I think it was last week, and so it kind of made sense to just transition to his book, and I found it really interesting. Like I said, I'm not done. Um, but yeah, in between the last pod and now, I absolutely gobbled up Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Just reading that, and then I started and finished House of, it's either Earth and Blood or Blood and Earth. I can't remember. I always get them mixed up. But Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. And then I started The House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I liked the first one more because I found it interesting. It was more about this mystery, and it was told primarily, I think, through Bryce's perspective, the main character. And in the second one, I believe it hops around between her and other characters. And obviously, this was part of my book club that I do with fantasy fibers. No, not do, but I'm in. And we were rereading it for the new one that came out. I think it was January 30th. Um, The House of Shadow and Flame. Crescent City 3. I'm the worst, you guys. I'm so sorry. But I'm reading that. It's slow going for me. I There is a lot going on, and it's changing perspectives a lot, which is normally fine when you start a book with one perspective, and then in the next one it's like two to three, and then in the next one it's like everybody's perspective. It's I don't know, not my cup of tea. It didn't used to bother me, but for some reason I'm struggling on this one. But I mean the story is good, but I think I liked the mystery of the first one, and the second one wasn't as mysterious. I don't know. I don't know really what to tell you about that, but yeah, that's that's pretty much it. The only other thing is um there is tonight Fantasy Fiber Yarnco is doing a release in collaboration with um Alicia Plummer, who is a designer, and um, there's also an author who is releasing a book. I'll put all that info either up here or in the description box. Unfortunately, this won't go up in time for it to matter too much. She will have the it's a pre-order to be open for a week, but she is doing a Stitches and Stories Cal. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Stitches and Stories Cal, and she's done this. I think this is like the third time that she's collaborating with Alicia to do this, but this time there's an author involved. And I just wanted to show you I'm contributing 3 prizes. I'm sorry. Um, anyway, I just wanted to show them to you. So here is a Crescent City yarn bowl. And the bottom of the inside of the yarn bowl is my favorite part. It says light it up. And because it's um, made with this type of color changing filament, it is dark purple on the bottom. I don't know if it's coming across, and then like blue, but that's lovely. And then all this is made by my husband, by the way. But this is a box that he designed, and it's like the second city themed as well. Got Bryce's 8-point star. We love all is possible. And then on the top you have the moon, some stars, and the sword. indicative of, I think it's just called Star Sword. And then it is, let me take these out if I can. It's magnetic, so I thought that was a neat little touch. Instead of like a hinge, but obviously it's a box, and then inside of the box were stitch markers. And so I've got a moon, several moons actually, and then I've got a star. And again, there's quite a few of them. I don't know if that's gonna work, but so these are going to be sent off to Marissa of Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. You should definitely follow her and Alicia Plummer and the author whose name escapes me. I'm so sorry, but I'll put all of that info either up here or in the description box. And you should join us for Stitches and Stories Gal. There's going to be, I think, 2 patterns that are going to be released, and then I think Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. has 3 colors that she's going to release for this collaboration. And then, of course, there's, I think it's a new book or 2 new books in preparation for a second book coming out in this series. But yeah, thank you so much for coming back to my channel and watching this podcast. I know it's been a long time, but a lot of things have been going on for me. So if you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up so that I know I can keep making more of these for you guys. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe and make sure you hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time I do an upload. Thank you so much. Have a great day.